Okay, so here's my question. What do you do when you have a creative job and you no longer feel creative? This week, I felt literally zero inspiration to create. And I ended up just laying in bed for basically an entire week reading romance novels. Oh my gosh, but of course with everything in life, nothing lasts forever, and eventually I just had to force myself to get up and go do something. I ended up going on a little adventure up into a part of these mountains I've never been before. I feel like it would take me my whole life to discover all the places in these mountains I have yet to find. I spent most of my days just walking through these mountains, foraging and identifying different flowers and plants I've never seen before. Honestly, sometimes when we're in a period of sadness or feeling down, all it takes is to just get out of your regular routine, to see something different, to feel something new. I think that sometimes when we're feeling upset about something, it can feel so large and heavy in the moment, and we feel like we need to make all these crazy giant changes in our life in order to feel better. But I think sometimes it's just simply going outside and taking a walk, to turn our phones off for a day and listen to the birds, and then to just take some deep breaths, And I really think it can be that simple. We tend to overcomplicate everything in life, I feel like. And really all it takes sometimes is just a small change. And I think sometimes when I'm feeling upset or down, it feels like my mind immediately wants to create a reason that's outside of myself, a problem in my external world. But really, it's just a problem inside of myself. I don't have to change anything on the outside. I just have to change my mind. And I think that that's always something I keep coming back to, because having that power, we can completely transform our life by just thinking better thoughts, being more grateful for what we have. I think it's really powerful. We don't actually have to change anything in our external reality. All we have to do is change our mind. So this year in the garden, what I've been really focusing on is growing lots of herbs. I want to have enough herbs that I can dry and last me all through the winter. I've been kind of obsessed with drinking different herbal teas lately, and I don't know, what I love about herbs is they are so easy to preserve and store. I'm growing a lot of mint and chamomile, mostly because those are my favorite herbal teas to drink, but also I'm growing oregano, parsley, thyme, basil, and so much catnip. Oh my gosh, Black Cat is loving her catnip lately. I think she's starting to get a little addicted. Chamomile is one of those herbs that's so incredibly easy to grow. I would really recommend, if you guys have the space, you should sprinkle some chamomile seeds in your garden. It just grows in such abundance and tastes so good. I made a chamomile cake the other day. Wow, it was so good. I feel like once you try fresh chamomile from your garden, you can never drink the stuff from the store ever again. It is just incredible how flavorful it is when you pick it fresh. The smell is really nostalgic to me because probably 8 or 9 years ago, when I started my first garden in my parents' backyard, I grew chamomile and it literally blew my mind. Honestly, I think it was this plant that made me obsessed with growing things, because I realized how much tastier things are that we grow ourselves. I cannot believe that we are already in the middle of July. This summer is going by so fast, and I'm starting to get a little nervous for this winter. I just don't know what to do, you guys. I'm in such a conundrum. On one hand, I could spend the winter here, but my issue with that is living in a tiny house in the snow makes me go absolutely crazy. It's just too small of a space. I get really depressed not being able to move around at all. Of course, I could always leave, which is what I've done these past 3 years, but my issue is I really don't want to leave. I've been really craving this feeling of wanting to be more grounded and stable in my life. So I just don't know what to do. I think I'll probably end up staying here, but man, I'm very nervous about turning into the guy from The Shining who got cabin fever. I mean, of course I'm kidding, but it does make you go a little crazy being in such a small space. Okay, so today I'm going to use some of the herbs I'm growing to make shampoo bars. I specifically grew a bunch of rosemary so I could use it for this purpose. This year I'm trying to focus on doing good things for my hair. In college, I used to swim laps in the pool every morning, and I swear my hair has never been the same since then. I don't know, I really noticed the chlorine affected it in a really negative way. So I'm brewing a big batch of strong tea filled with herbs that are supposed to be really good for the hair. And then I mixed the lye with the tea, and I will add that to my oils. Whenever I make shampoo, I like to make enough to last me for the year. I'm doing the cold process, and with this method, you have to wait like 2 months for the soap to cure. So you definitely want to make the soap in advance. I'm adding some rosemary olive oil to the mixture as well. Probably like a month ago, I started infusing the rosemary into the olive oil, and I left it in the sun and then just shook it probably every other day. When I was in high school, I started making all of my own beauty products. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I used to mix charcoal with water to make a homemade eyeliner. It was so messy. Oh my gosh. I will let you guys know if I notice a difference in my hair after using all these herbs. My goal is to grow my hair out to my waist. I used to have super long, thick hair, and I feel like when I have that, I feel more like my true self. I chopped it all off to my shoulders right before I went to college, and I seriously feel like I cut off a part of myself when I did that. I don't know. Okay, so today I'm gonna start a dye pot using yarrow. There's just so much of it around here, and it makes the most beautiful orange-brown color of dye. I love it so much. I've been plant dyeing a lot this summer, and I cannot wait to start sewing some things out of all my dye fabrics, but I'm trying to wait until it gets colder. I feel like I don't want to waste any precious bits of summer sitting inside working on sewing projects. I did that a lot last summer, and I kind of regretted it, because by the end of the summer, I realized I really didn't hike very much. So I'm leaving all those projects for the winter. Also, this is just the beginning, but I might build myself a little art studio. It's kind of driving me crazy working in the same room as Logan, just because I feel like I'm always doing loud things, and then he's trying to record, and it's just kind of a mess. And I'm really craving this idea of having my own space, but my issue with the idea is I really don't want to build it. I don't know. We'll see how things go. Okay, so you guys aren't gonna believe this, but I'm starting to get really tired of eating so much bread. I went on like a 4-month-long sourdough bread frenzy, and I'm starting to calm down a little bit. And instead of making a loaf a day, I am making a loaf every other day. Today, I decided to make some sourdough tortillas. So I guess that is basically bread, but in my head, it's kind of a different thing. So it feels like as I'm getting older, I'm getting more scared of things. What's that about? When I was younger, I used to be so fearless. I would go anywhere, try anything, and just never think twice about it. I'm flying across the world next week, and instead of being excited, I'm actually kind of scared. Not scared of the flight, but scared of doing something kind of unknown. I'm also scared I'm going to be really homesick and lonely, but I'm thinking maybe this fear is a good thing. Maybe it's showing me the things I need to lean into more. I live such a comfortable life, but then I think sometimes, I don't know, too much comfort can lead us to become a little complacent in our lives. No matter what it is in life, I think it's good to do the things that scare us and make us feel uncomfortable, because that means we're changing, and change means we're moving forward. Here's the thing about it too. If you have something that you want to do in your life, but you're too scared, isn't it worse to think, what if I had tried that thing? For me at least, I've never regretted doing something that scared me, but I definitely regretted not doing it. You know, I was on a plane to a remote village in India, and the plane broke down before we took off. In that moment, I really thought about getting off that plane and going home. But I stayed, and I ended up doing my yoga teacher training in that village, which completely changed my life. I always think back to that moment and thank myself for staying and doing the scary thing. I really didn't want to take that plane ride, and I would have always regretted it if I had left and gone home. The yarrow has been steeping for about 24 hours now, so I'm just removing the plant matter from the dye pot and then adding my linen, and then I'm gonna let that steep for another 24 hours. Oh my gosh, this color is seriously my favorite dye color. It's the most beautiful muted orange. If you have yarrow in your area, I would highly recommend dyeing with it. It's definitely like the best dye color I've found so far in my plant dyeing journey. It's just so vibrant. Oh my gosh. Something about the taste of coffee with just like plain oatmeal. It's such a beautiful taste. Oh, it reminds me kind of like camping when I was young. Oh, you guys, we've been having just the most like beautiful summer days here. I can't even explain it. Like just sunny and warm every day. And this morning was really cold. Actually, the nights here, even in the summertime, get really, really cold. Having a fire is so nice. It's probably around 5:30 a.m. right now. I've been trying to wake up really early. It's been kind of working out, kind of not though. I don't know what it is about this summer, but I've just been kind of like, don't care about anything. Like if I sleep in, oh, don't care, whatever. If I don't do something, don't get something done, oh, whatever, it's the summer. This coffee is amazing. Wow. So I was sitting down by the river just a second ago, thinking about how I literally like 10 years ago used to sit down by that river. I was like 14, 15 at the time. And I would think to myself, all I want in life is to live here and to be near these rivers and mountains and big tall trees, and I just loved it here, you know. I loved the climate and how remote it was and how quiet it was. And I don't know, it feels like when I accomplished that dream, I'd never sat down and said to myself, wow, here I am. You know, I was just kind of on to the next thing, on to the next goal or whatever. And I don't know, I think the key to life is to just be grateful for what we have right now, because really this moment and what we have currently in our life right now is all that we really have. The people, the experience of life, it's happening right now, and technically I'm living my dream right now. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest from the bottom of my heart, I don't wake up every day like ecstatic thinking, oh, I'm living the dream. You know, I deal with stresses and anxieties and oh, what am I gonna do next? Feeling really stressed lately about the winter, and sometimes you just gotta take a breath and think, I am living my dream life. Even if you're not, technically we're all living our dream life right now because we get to experience this life. And I don't know, I think that just the sheer fact that we are together here in this moment is a miracle, and it is so beautiful. We are alive. That is just in and of itself a miracle and so beautiful. And yeah, I literally slept for a week straight, and I don't know why. I was just like sad and like upset about a couple of things, and man, you know, thinking back to last week, like the things that I was upset about and sad about, in the grand scheme of life, just like mean nothing. It can be really easy to get caught up in the small things, I feel like. And then, you know, we get these moments where we take a step back and we look at everything and we're like, oh, I am alive. And that is a miracle. Say that to yourself right now. I am alive, and that is a miracle. We are here together on this earth, and it's beautiful. And I'm so glad that I get to share my journey with you guys and that we get to have these moments together. I don't know, it's just really beautiful. And I think next week I will be somewhere else. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and yeah, I'll see you next week.